Aloha my kākou. Welcome to another adventure with me, Seashell Surf. We continue our journey in Hanapēpē town. We are heading west on Kaumo'ali'i Highway. King Kaumo'ali'i was the last king of the island of Kauai. Coming up is the Salt Pond Country Store, a local favorite. You can find everything from food and beverages to even fishing supplies. A great place to stop on your way to the beach. And we're going to make a left-hand turn down to the Kauai Veterans Cemetery and the Old McBride Sugar Company Japanese Cemetery. The Japanese people were just some of the groups of people that came to Hawaii to work in the pineapple fields and the sugarcane fields. They brought with them their culture, their language, and their lifestyles. Many men came to Hawaii to work in the fields. As a result, picture brides became very popular. Life toiling in the fields was a hard job. And welcome to Salt Pond Park. If you look down the coastline, on the right-hand side, you may be able to see the small island of Ni'ihau. It is a privately owned island sold to a missionary by the name of Elizabeth Sinclair in 1864 by King Kamehameha V. There is a small population of native people that still live there, as well as the west side here on Kauai. Hawaii. This is a Hawaiian fisherman. He has probably been doing this his whole life. He probably made his upena, his fishnet, and he has probably been doing this his whole life. This is a skilled profession. In Hawaii, We don't ask people if they're going fishing, or the response is always going to be Holoholo, which means to cruise, and that's because it can bring the fisherman bad luck. The fish can hear that you're going fishing and swim away, and then nobody has dinner for the evening. Fish was a main source of protein in the islands. And this man is walking on the Hanapēpē, which is the reef. You must understand the wave patterns, the currents, and the reef is sharp and slippery. He is cautious, and at the same time he is observing the school of fish. Ke nana ne oia I ka holoi'a. He's observing the schools of fish. He makani ahe ahe. There's a gentle breeze. Holu nape ka leo kaniu. And the coconut tree fronds sway gently. Ho'omanawa nui kalawai'a. The fisherman is very patient. Ke nana ne oia I ka holoi'a. He observes the schools of fish. Akahele oia I ka Hanapēpē. He is cautious while he's on the reef. Now, Kauai is the oldest of the 8 major islands. It is somewhere between 4.5 million to 5 million years old. And as you may have been able to see in the distance, the island of Niihau, that used to be a part of the island of Kauai, as well as a small islet known as Lehua, which is in the Kaulakahi Channel, which is in between Kauai and Niihau. The black rock that you see on the beach here is basalt. There are small pieces of olivine that you can see in the basalt. It's a green mineral. It's the first mineral to form in basalt. Notice how skilled the fisherman is to even wrap his upena, fishnet, around his body so that his hands are free to use as he's walking on that slippery and sharp reef. And off to the east side are the actual salt pond beds. Salt was an important part of commerce here in Hawaii. Salt making here runs through the family. In order to have access to the salt ponds, you must be part of one of the families that works the salt ponds, and they are the stewards of the salt ponds. Kauai is rich in clay dirt called alaya. It's high in iron oxide. It has many benefits to it. It makes the pa'akai, or the salt, pink in color. It was used to dry fish and preserve it, thus being traded to the people who lived mauka, or upland, for things that grow in those areas, such as banana and kalo. Kalo is the main staple of the Hawaiian diet. As we say a hui ho, or goodbye, to Salt Pond Park, we're going to drive by a mural that has a part of history to it. The mural depicts Salt Pond's origin. Hawaiians were very conscientious about taking only what they needed. In this particular case, a young woman was catching fish and she caught too many, and it made her upset that these fish would be wasted. Well, Pele, the goddess of the volcano who came to Hawaii from Kahiki, or Tahiti, pitied the woman. And she told the woman that if she were to rub white crystals from shallow pools onto the fish, meaning the salt, that it would be a way of preserving those fish. Of course, the pa'akai did preserve the fish, and she was able to utilize the fish without wasting them. Pa'akai literally means solidified seawater. The underground salt water is transferred into the alaya, which is the red clay dirt, ponds, until the water evaporates, and thus you have the pa'akai, the salt. Here in Hanapēpē and in one other place are the only two places where this traditional style of sea salt making still goes on in Hawaii. The salt beds are more towards the ocean side, and we will journey to the salt beds at another time. But these are basically what the fields look like with the beautiful alaya. You may know people that have red dirt shirts from Kauai. It's also medicinal. Pa'akai, or salt, was used in ceremonies for purification and protection. And the Hawaiian salt can never be sold. It must be traded or given as a gift. And we are so very fortunate to know people that have given us gifts of pa'akai. we're going to head back south on Kamwali'i Highway. Hanapēpē is known as a town of artists, and we'll see another mural. There's Port Allen, where Ele'ele Beach is, with a black sand of a different type. It's grains of basalt, but it is a black sand beach. Coming up, you're going to see a very large statue of the goddess Kwan Yin Nukwa. She is the goddess of mercy, mothers, and children. Kwan Yin Nukwa. And coming up is the Hanapēpē River. I hope you all have enjoyed this adventure through Hanapēpē, Kauai. There's so much more to see. I hope you'll join me for future videos of the beautiful garden island of Kauai. Until then, as we say in Hawaiian, Ahuiho, which means until we meet again, Ma lama pono. Take care. Aloha.